What's up, Heat Nation? The Miami Heat win 106-95 against the Pelicans in what could be the most wild game of the Miami Heat's NBA season. Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat basketball channel and the Miami Heat Zone podcast. Before we get started on this post-game recap, we just want to thank everybody for supporting our channels. And if you guys can, like and subscribe to both of our channels. We appreciate it a lot. So the Miami Heat were in a crazy game, intense game, back and forth tonight. And we could start off with, I think, probably the thing that caught everybody's eyes, obviously the brawl and the ejections. But yeah, Martel, just hop in. What do you think about this game overall? What do you think about the brawl?
It's kind of like what I said before to you, like just right before the stream. If somebody has their hands around my neck, what does the NBA want Jimmy? Like, what does the NBA want Jimmy Butler to do? Somebody has their hands around his neck. Who's not going to react like that? So for him to get ejected, and especially when all Kevin Love did, he fouled Zion. Zion was the one who was flipping and flopping and falling down to the ground, making it a lot more than what it is. And then that's when Najee Marshall came over and kind of shoved Kevin Love. But this group, they learned from the Jaylen Brown incident is that when you mess with one of us, it doesn't matter if you're talking crap, it doesn't matter if you shove us or push us or whatever, everyone's going to get involved. And as soon as Najee put his hands right around Jimmy Butler's neck, everybody came off the bench. And I don't know if you also saw this because this part really wasn't on TV. Jose Alvarado punches Thomas Bryant, and Thomas Bryant actually punches him back.
Oh,
So
he
in
did?
terms of yes.
I
So
didn't
in
see the
terms
punch
of
back.
like when they showed it, that's like when the camera kind of panned away from it. So
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be interesting to see who gets suspended because the NBA doesn't play when players leave the bench and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was surprised that Bam didn't go on the court because he was saying in the post game, if you're on the bench and you come onto the court or leave the bench, then you can get ejected. Which, if he got ejected, we would have been screwed because Bam
Yeah.
Adebayo was amazing in that fourth quarter. Scored 10 points. He scored our last 8 points in the fourth quarter with 4 minutes to go. He was awesome. So I'm happy Bam knew the rule and didn't just run on that court. He was able to stay on the sideline. But yeah, thank God it was Thomas Bryant at least that threw the punch and not Jimmy Butler. Because imagine if Jimmy threw a punch, which he seemed angry, obviously, and some guy that's not going to play, but he's also cerebral enough to realize hey, I'm not going to throw a punch and get suspended for something stupid like this. So
Yeah.
thank God it was Thomas Bryant. And again, I don't know how Jimmy honestly get ejected. Do you think it was because he was chasing him down? I didn't really see what happened afterwards because the skirmish had both not benches, but both teams going after each other trying to separate everybody. But what's his name? Marshall, the guy, whatever the dude on the
Yeah.
Pelicans, the nobody. He kind of shoved Kevin Durant, right? Because he thought that he fouled Zion harder because Zion fell and slipped when Kevin let go of him. And then Jimmy kind of pushed him back, hey, don't push Kevin. And then that's when the whole choking incident happened. So did he really get ejected for that little fucking chicken
I
wing
think
elbow kind of thing, or going after him? Because he kind of went after him in a sense.
just going after him, and then because now you're causing other guys to leave the bench and coaching staffs to leave the bench. So it's stupid, because like I said, if someone has their hands around your neck, who wouldn't respond that way? But that's the NBA for you.
Yeah. So it wasn't a net when we lose Thomas Bryant, who hasn't played a game in a month, and basically losing Jimmy Butler versus Alvarado. We had a couple good moments in the second quarter when they made that huge run, which was super frustrating. Heat were up by 19 in the second quarter. It looked like we're in control, and it looked like we're gonna have an easy game because Jimmy looked engaged, energetic, passionate, from the get, which is good to see. And Jimmy was being Jimmy, getting to the free throw line and just being super aggressive, which was good. So losing him though sucked because Alvarado, he's a role player. He had 5 points. He's a nobody in the grand scheme of the Pelicans, right? And
Yeah.
then Marshall, who I don't even know, is he a rookie or whatever, G leaguer? That guy was obviously not really contributing either. So it was huge to get that victory because Jimmy out with 10 minutes to go or 11 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. That was huge. And I thought once we got in this fight, that's not what the New Orleans Pelicans wanted, right? That's they're not a tough-minded team like the Miami Heat. We like to get in the mud. We like to get hit in the face. We like to hit back. So I was optimistic that we were still going to win this game because we still had Tyler Hero was playing well, Bam was playing well, and then Duncan Robinson off the bench. But anyway,
Plus, every game counts.
Yeah,
Because
they
every
knew it.
game counts right now. They have to at least get into the 6th spot to get out of the play-in tournament.
Yeah, and Jimmy knows that, which is good. Like some of the keys, I was thinking, like moving on in these like last 27 games, like one, we need to stay healthy, which we can talk about that. There was an injury at the end of the game, unfortunately. But one, the main thing was Jimmy Butler needs to be Jimmy Butler. And actually, he needs to try. And he did. That's a good sign. And then offensively, we needed to shoot better, which we did. We shot pretty well. I don't know the percentages. I'll look. From three, we shot, what did we shoot? 45%. Huge. We're going to like, anytime the Heat shooting the high, like the mid 40s, high 40s, we're going to win a game. So we need to shoot better. We need to rebound, which we didn't really do. There's a few things that we didn't do that we need to do and improve on, which rebounding is difficult when we're playing against a huge team like the Pelicans. But there's things that we did well, good ball movement, and players stepped up like Jimmy, Bam, and Tyler. So that was good. That was a good sign. But what were your thoughts on the overall game outside of the brawl? Just your thoughts on just the way Jimmy played, the way Bam played, and just how we fought back after they came back essentially and kind of took control of the game.
This team feeds off Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler was getting deflections. He was getting steals. Think about it. He was jumping for alley-oops. That's the Jimmy Butler that this Miami Heat team needs. This team will go as far as Jimmy Butler takes them. They feed off of his energy. And if he's playing at a high level, the team will follow and do as such. So I think just having him out there, being re-energized, fresh legs under him, that's the biggest thing for the Miami Heat. Because like I said before, every game counts for the Miami Heat. And I know that since Tyler Hero is going to miss some time, I know that some people are happy that now Duncan Robinson can be inserted into that starting lineup, and I think that's a good segue because with Tyler Hero out, he can really just never catch a break. He pretty much always gets injured around this time. If it's not now, it's right before the playoffs. So it's going to be interesting to see now with Terry Rozier out, Josh Richardson out, now Tyler Hero out. Is DeLon Wright also going to get minutes as well? What is the starting lineup going to look like for the next game?
I was surprised that he didn't Wright didn't play at all because two of the issues that we had in the second quarter. First off, we were up by 7 or so going into it was 31-24 after the first quarter. We looked good. And then we started off on fire in the second quarter and got up to a 19-point lead. And then their defense just fell apart. So Zion was playing bully ball in the paint all day long. Jonas Valanciunas, 260 pounds, getting guarded by Nikola Jovic, who's 205 pounds. Like they were just feasting on the inside. So like one, like I was texting you guys in the group, like, why is Orlando or someone like big not coming in? Because he's just gonna pound on Jovic. Like Bam has to guard Zion. Like either way, like if Jovic is in there, he's gonna get a mismatch between Zion or Valanciunas. So that was one issue that brought them back into the game. But then the second was the point of attack. Like Herb Jones was getting downhill. Alvarado, when he was in there in the second quarter, was getting downhill. They're getting downhill and breaking down our perimeter defense. So I was surprised that he didn't play. Like, are you surprised that he didn't get any minutes at all today? Like, what do you think?
That's what Spo does. That's what Spo does. Like, think about it. We got Terry Rozier. Why are you bringing Terry Rozier off the bench? We have no point guard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He just does these weird things that make no sense. We get guys who are quote unquote new to the roster. Yeah, they might be new to the roster, but they're not new to the NBA. All these other teams, they pretty much run the same schemes. It's just different lingos.
Yeah.
I would at least have thrown him out there because, like you said, for the point of attack defense, that's why we brought him to this team. Let's see what he can bring. Get his feet wet. Get him used to playing with his new teammates. But that's Spo for you. He's gonna play with who he wants. So
yeah,
is what it is.
It's frustrating because like they're hyping him up like it's a media day kind of thing.
Yeah, like oh my god, he does this and that, and then they don't even play him. So what's the point?
I don't understand it. Especially because like I think Duncan or Tyler was in foul trouble like early on. He had 2 fouls like in the first quarter, and they were just really lengthy in size. And like I just thought like you got to put him in and just give him an opportunity to play with his teammates. There's only 27 games left in the season. Like he needs to build that chemistry now. Like what's the point of waiting? Like which is unfortunate, but it's fine. I mean, it's not like he's an amazing player. So it's like I was more perplexed when why Terry Rozier was coming off the bench and getting less minutes in that first game. And to your point, play calling and schemes. Like, bro, it's not the NFL. It's not like he has like to
No, it's not that
memorize an
serious.
NFL playbook. It's basketball. Like you kind of
No.
they do wing it out there as well. So that's funny that you brought it up. But yeah, I think he'll play now, obviously, because Tyler Hero in the last 50 seconds of the game looked like he hyperextended. I thought it was a dead leg at first, hoping it was knee to knee, because he did get up immediately and kind of tried to like he hobbled off and like started
Yeah, try to walk it off.
pressure on it. So when he did that, I'm like, okay, it's not an ACL, hopefully. But then when they showed it, like when he planted his foot and his foot kind of dragged and slipped, it looked like he hyperextended it. So I don't know. How long do you think he's going to be out for? And then I guess we're assuming Daylon's probably going to get those minutes because Terry's still banged up.
Yeah, probably like maybe at least 2 weeks because they're not going to rush these guys. They know that because we have time, but then at the same time we don't. You know what I mean? The season is about to end, and the playoff seeding is everything. You know, Spo even said it right now. Every single team right now is focusing on where do they want to end up for their playoff matchups. And like I said, every game does count, but they also have time to rest Tyler Hero. They have DeLon right now who can be slotted in. It's going to be interesting to see. Probably they're going to continue to start Caleb Martin with DeLon right. We'll just have to play it by ear, man, and see what the results come back. You know, I'm sure that they're going to do the MRI, and hopefully there's no issues there.
Yeah, we'll see. So yeah, going back to the starting lineups, it was interesting that Jovic played tonight, and he held his own. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
for being 205 pounds, soaking wet, playing against a beast against Jonas Valanciunas and Zion, who's 285 as they mentioned, which is insane because he weighs like 35 more pounds than Bam. But he was doing pretty decent out there on defense, which was
That's
great.
all we need him to do. That's
Yeah,
all, bro. But like
and rebound
that.
and
That's why you
rebound.
have size, rebounding. He's spacing the floor. Is he going to play elite shot blocking defense? No. But all we need him to do is the minimal things, just so that he's out there to put size next to Bam. That's it.
Yeah, there's not many teams that play like that type of old school bully ball that Zion and Jonas does. Even though both are, I thought Zion was more skilled than this because he's healthy and like I guess his playmaking looks improved. He's
Yeah.
kind of operating as that like point forward, but like he used to take threes which were shitty. They're not as bad as Giannis's threes, which it's like that's a victory if you get Giannis to
Yeah.
shoot a three. But he was a better 3 point, better shooter than Giannis. And like he would take some mid range elbow jumpers, baseline jumpers. He didn't take a single shot outside of the paint. Like all he was doing was
He's
kind
out
of
of shape. He's out of shape, overweight, and he has no bag whatsoever.
no
And he's
back,
not and
no
he's not
skill,
working on his game either.
which is sad because he's still like so athletic,
He
so
has the
strong.
potential. He has the potential, but he can't put down the oxtail pizza. He can't put down the gumbo. He can't put, you know what I mean? He can't put down the burgers and shakes. Clearly, it's not working. Clearly, it's not working.
Oxtail pizza, bro. I never even heard of
Mm-hmm.
oxtail pizza. People put oxtail on pizza?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds bomb. But yeah, he was frustrating because I mean, like he was effective in the paint and offensive rebounds, dude. Like that is still going to be a detriment to the Miami Heat, and just rebounding in general has always been an issue. That was frustrating. That's what kept them in the game. So I mean, like we were up by 19. They made that 22-2 run, I think, to end the second quarter, which was huge for them to bring them back in the game. And there's a few things like the rebounding we need to clean up. 54-46,
Mm-hmm.
18 offensive to 10. That kept them in the game because we shot better than them, except for at the free throw line, which we could talk about. That was unfortunate and kind of annoying that we got there 25 times to their 13, but we made only 17, 68%. So we got to clean that up. The rebounding is going to be hard to clean up because like the offensive rebounding, right? Like we need to improve on the defensive rebounding. Like I know we're not going to get offensive rebounds because we're not a great offensive rebounding team, but we need to improve in that area. We need to shoot better from the free throw line. But other than that, like we shot better from three, better from the field. They shot 22% from three. Like this shouldn't have been a close game. Turnovers, those
Yeah, big
14,
turnovers.
14 to 11. But points off turnovers, that's like one of their biggest strengths. They cause like the most turnovers in the NBA, or they're like a top three team, I believe. And they get into transition. They're young and athletic. And that was kind of a detriment as well. We had a bunch of first quarter turnovers, I think 5 or 6, and then like 4 or 5 in the fourth quarter, which kept them in the game in a sense. But either way, huge victory on the road. And I mean, again, they were missing Brandon Ingram. We were missing players too, but I think Brandon Ingram is their best player. And then CJ
Yeah,
McCollum is their second best offensive player, who was quiet but tweaked his ankle and he was out as well. So the fact that they were playing on a back to back and they had those injuries, that I'm happy that we were able to pull it off, even though this game
absolutely.
got crazy with the brawl or the scuffle, I guess, which was pretty soft. Like nothing even happened, honestly. But huge victory. We're now in the 7th seed. It looks like, because Orlando had a big victory, I think, yesterday against the Cavs. They've lost 2 in a row now, which is good, which is great. The Sixers beat them tonight too, as well. So um, a lot of these teams are playing against each other. So the 6th through 8th seed is going to be kind of wild at this point. So it's good to see, though, that the Cavs are losing games, but they're losing to the wrong teams. We don't want the Sixers and the Magic to win, right? We want like Western teams and other teams to beat the Cavs or the Bucks, who are in the 2-3 seed. So it's gonna be a tight race, to your point. And so this is a good way to start this 4-game road trip. So happy we're able to pull off a victory against the Pelicans team. We're a good team, man. 5th in the West, young up and coming team. So next game is what, Monday against the Sacramento Kings, which again should be a winnable game, but super unfortunate that Tyler is going to be out. But optimistic that Terry Rozier might play. So Spo said
Sweet.
that, yeah, that he should be available during this road trip. Not sure when. I think we were gonna be cautious and see what happened. Like if we won tonight, maybe hold him out again. But the fact that Tyler got hurt, I don't know. Do you think Terry's gonna have to play now, or do you think they'll depend on Daylon?
They can depend on DeLon, because like I said, it doesn't make sense we rush these guys back. We have a little bit of time. I know it's not much, but I would rather these guys be healthy than come back too early and then something else happens. You know what I mean? Because this Miami Heat team, they have some bad injury luck, unfortunately. So listen, whoever's available, it's time to hoop. That's it.
Yep. Do you think Jovic stays in the lineup? So who do you think starts on
He has
Monday?
to. He has to. It's definitely probably DeLon Wright and Caleb Martin, or it could also be Duncan Robinson and Caleb Martin. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Wright's gonna get a start. I don't know. Like maybe they'll have Jovic in there, even though he's at the power forward, but he'll be the point. Because I mean, Jimmy, him, and Bam all can play point guard. They could all bring the
Hmm.
ball up. So maybe, I mean, Duncan has to come in for Tyler, right? I'm
He
assuming
has to.
Duncan, Duncan, Jimmy, Bam, I think are the 3 for sure, and Caleb and Jovic. Like
Yeah.
I think that could be. I don't think they're going to start. I don't think they're going to start right like in his first game. He'll probably come off the bench
Yeah, for sure.
first. He'll be like the 6th or 7th guy with Hawkes and Love. Those would be the 8 right there, and
Hmm.
then Haywood would be in that mix too as like the 9th, I would say. So we'll see. Any predictions for Monday on the road against the Kings?
We need a dub, man. We got to stack up these wins.
I think we're gonna win though. I think we're gonna win because I think if Jimmy continues to play like this, like
That's it.
he looked rested, dude. Like when he got up on that oop, I thought it was Bam for a second, the way he was jumping up, right? I was like,
Yeah.
wait, like he shot out of a cannon. I'm like, Jimmy he never dunks with authority like that on alley oops. Usually they're just like he's barely getting in there, but he dunked with authority. So
Hmm.
if Jimmy's playing like this aggressive and in his bag, like engaged and trying to get to the free throw line, like I think we'll be good. I don't know about winning on the road against Denver, honestly, but we'll see. I think we just need to go 3-1. We need to go. We need to.
That's
Go,
it.
we need to control. We can control because we can't control what the Magic and the Sixers and those teams are going to do in front of us. So we just need to win. So anyway, that's all I had. I think for this post game recap. So we will be back. Maybe this weekend or early next week, I think, with another roundtable episode. And we'll probably be doing these recaps together sporadically after games. Might be a little late for you, Martel. I'm in California, so that game's going to be, 10 o'clock at night for me, probably be
Yeah.
1
I'll be all
o'clock
right.
for you. So it might be a little too late. But either way, thanks for watching, guys. And yeah, again, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It's Team to Beat Miami Heat. And then Martel's channel, the Miami Heat Zone podcast. So thanks again, guys. Take care.
Peace.